Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Morgan. Today's episode, we are going to get into one of the most important topics. We are talking about your dating mindset. Mindset matters so much more than you can even imagine. It is literally the thing that will make or break it for you. Obviously, you guys know I talk so much about becoming securely attached, rewiring your brain, becoming a different version of yourself so that when you are dating, you can then easily attract the person who's meant for you. And mindset is this overarching thing that even if we are working on releasing our past relational trauma, we're doing all of this inner work, we're rewiring our brains, we're becoming securely attached. If we don't have the right approach and the right dating mindset, we are still going to struggle in our relationship. So I'm so excited about this episode today. I'm going to give you 5 very tangible mindset shifts. Okay. And I just want to say, I know it can be hard out there. I know that there's some of you that are so ready to meet your person. You've been showing up. You've been on the dating apps. Maybe you've gone on blind dates. Maybe you're going to meetups. You're doing all the things and you're still feeling like you're not getting the results that you want. I want you to know the good news is that you have so many things that are within your control that you can change internally and change about your mindset that will help you show up and get different results, that will help you get to a place where you can easily attract that person that you can grow with and build an incredible relationship with. So please know there is hope. As someone who had the absolute worst dating mindset for over a decade and had so many terrible, sometimes toxic relationships, I can tell you that if I can do this, you can do this too. And we're going to get started today. We're going to dive in to these 5 mindset shifts. And once again, your beliefs about dating, your beliefs about relationships, your relationship models, it's all running the show. You are basically going through your dating life, going through swiping on the apps, going through meeting people, and you have all of these filters. I kind of think of it as like you have these blinders on, and your past experiences, your beliefs, your mindset, and your attachment style, they're putting these blinders on for you, and they're impacting the people that you even notice, the people that you're attracted to. So once we start working on those things and we're doing the internal work, the blinders can come down and you can start to be attracted to people that you were never attracted to before. You can start to easily find those emotionally available, high value partners that really want to build a life with you. But once again, it starts with this internal rewiring, changing your brain, changing your mindset. So this is so incredibly important. Do not sleep on the mindset work. I know so many people, men and women, who think that it's all about their physical appearance and what they look like. And we can spend so much time going to the gym, getting whatever cosmetic stuff done, right? All to look a certain way. But you can do all of that and it's not going to matter unless you are rewiring your brain and becoming securely attached. So this is the real important work, okay? So number 1, this is the first shift I'm going to talk to you about. There are 5 of them. I love this one. So we have to get to a place where we are shifting from scarcity to abundance. There are so many of you out there that are believing the lie that there are just no good partners available, or that they've all been taken, they're all already married, or that in your particular city, there's just no one available that is the type of person you want to be with. There's so many of you that are believing this lie that there are no good men or no good women out there for you, okay? And what happens is when we believe this lie, when we believe that, oh, the partner that I want doesn't exist, what does it do? It causes us to act differently. It causes us to lower our standards, to show up in a way where we are settling. We're letting people that seem like they're kind of a fit, or like, oh, they're okay, they're not really what I want, they're not my ideal partner. We're letting those people take up valuable, sacred space in our dating lives. We're letting those people take up the time and energy that should be being devoted to our ideal partners. So we're blocking ourselves, right? We start settling when we have a scarcity mindset, and this is not good. I'm not going to let you settle. Okay. So the reality is this: there are so many high quality, emotionally available, incredible partners out there right now, and they're looking for you. And I know there's some of you listening or watching this and you're saying, but Dr. Morgan, you don't know what it's like in my city, or you don't know my experience. You don't know how many terrible dates I've been on. I need you to know this. You exist, right? You exist. You have this desire on your heart. You know the kind of relationship you want to build. You want to have this emotionally available, securely attached relationship. You exist, and that is all the evidence that I need to know that there are people out there who exist just like you, who want the things that you want and want to build the kind of relationship that you want to build. So I think it's so important. We got to switch the mindset of, oh, there's no one out there, to there are so many high value, emotionally available, wonderful partners out there right now who would be so excited to date me. Okay, we need to really work on that switch. So that's the number one, going from scarcity to abundance mindset. And here's one of the things I want you to do. This is your exercise, your homework, if you will, for this first shift. I want you to start a healthy love evidence list, or you could call it evidence of my ideal partner, evidence of the love that I'm looking for. I don't care what you name it, but on this list, you are going to start noting when you see the kind of relationship that you want, when you see it in your friends or in family relationships or people that you meet. I'll never forget, this is kind of a personal story, but I was actually getting a bikini wax, which is such a vulnerable thing. Okay, ladies, y'all know you're just getting waxed. And I remember I met this woman, and she was the waxer, and she was also the owner of the salon. And she was telling me about this marriage that she had with her husband. And he was so supportive. They had 2 children together. She's running this salon. She's working her business. She's growing it locally. She had this amazing energy. And she just kept talking about how her and her husband were such an incredible team. They worked together. They got through everything together. She was expecting her 3rd baby, and she felt so supported and happy. And she just raved about how incredible her relationship was. And I was so moved by that example that clearly I've never forgotten it. And at that time, it was a time when I needed to hear that evidence, right? If you're anything like me, you didn't grow up with a lot of evidence for healthy, emotionally available relationships. It wasn't just the norm. You didn't see it everywhere. So we have to look for it. And I want you to start this list where, even if it's a friend or someone you meet or somebody in the media, if there's someone that you can look up to where you know that, hey, their relationship behind closed doors matches what you're seeing in the media, I want you to start writing it down. I want you to make the evidence that the love that you want is out there. We need to start the healthy love evidence list. Okay, that's your homework for shift number 1. Let's get into shift number 2. Okay, this is so powerful. Are you ready for this? When you're in your dating life and you're not getting the results that you want, it's really easy to get in this mindset of, why is this happening to me? We kind of go, poor me. Why is this happening to me? I'm so ready for love. Why is Susie getting married and I'm not? Why was it so easy for Joe to go find his partner and it's not happening for me and it should have happened for me already? We get in this kind of almost a victim mindset, right? And in order to start attracting the partner that you really want and to be able to do it with ease and to have it come to you naturally, we have to change this mindset. We have to, instead of focusing on, why is this happening to me? Woe is me. It should be different, and being in that comparison mode, instead of being there, I need you to shift to, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to teach me? And a lot of you know this topic that I have shared on the podcast before, repetition, compulsion. That's a perfect example, right, of when we look at repetition, compulsion, and we see, oh, actually, the patterns that I'm having in my adult romantic relationships are simply a mirror of what happened in my childhood relationships, where I had childhood relational trauma or past relational trauma, and now it's happening in my adult romantic relationships, right? I often refer to this as, you're bringing your unfinished business from childhood, you're bringing it into your adult relationships. And the brain has this unconscious wish that this time it would be different. This time I could get a different result. This time I can get that emotionally unavailable partner to choose me. Understanding repetition compulsion and seeing how it plays out in your dating life, that is one of the most helpful things that you can do. And it's all back to this mindset shift of, instead of saying, ugh, why is this happening to me? We want to get really, really curious and ask the empowering question, what is this teaching me? What do I need to learn from my patterns? I had so many years, over a decade, where I was repeating the same dating patterns over and over again, always going after the emotionally unavailable partner. And then if somebody was emotionally available, finding a very easy way to sabotage it. I was always preventing healthy love from happening in my life. But I can tell you that I had at least a decade where I was not ready to acknowledge that I was the common denominator, that I was the reason why I was having these experiences, right? That I had all of this unresolved past relational trauma that needed to be worked through, that I needed to rewire my brain and become securely attached, that even though I thought that I was super emotionally available, I actually was not emotionally available at all. I needed to become emotionally available, right? I had all of these things that the patterns of my dating life were trying to teach me, if I would have been open to realizing it. But instead, I was in that victim mentality place of, oh, the dating scene's terrible. There are no good men out there. Scarcity mindset. Everybody's already taken, right? Men just want sex. There's nobody out there that wants to fully commit and build a healthy relationship, right? And if you think about it, it's like, well, that's not true, right? But I was in the delusion of believing it, right? And just believing that, oh, it'll never happen for me. There's nobody out there. So by having this shift of, okay, clearly I'm the common denominator. Clearly there's something that I need to do differently. That's so empowering, right? The moment you realize, oh, when I change me, when I show up differently, then I can get different results. That's how we get you to this empowered place where you're really ready to do the work. So what I want you to do, because I do have an exercise for you here. First off, let's think about what is the lie. This mindset when you're in this place of saying, why does this always happen to me? The lie is, I'm just unlucky in love. It just never works out for me. I'm unlucky in love. We need to shift that to, okay, clearly something isn't working in my approach to dating, that there is something that needs to change, that I need to change in order to get different results, right? So we're shifting it to, what are my patterns trying to teach me? What do I need to change? And then the exercise I want you to do, because I'm trying to give you actionable things. I know all of you, you're all so motivated. You are ready. You want to work on this. So I want to give you something actionable. I want you to think about your last 3 to 5 relationships. And let's be brutally honest. Okay. And these would be significant relationships that had an impact on you, that were serious in some regard, right? It's not always the time. I know that some of us have had those 2-month relationships that felt so intense and so serious. So it's not time, but I just want you to think about significant relationships and what did each of those relationships teach you? Do you notice any patterns? What is true about how you showed up in those relationships? And I want you to think about, can you identify at least one pattern that was consistent? And then ask yourself, okay, what needs to be different? What needs to change in order to break this pattern? All right. So that is your homework for that step. How are we doing? We've talked about 2 shifts so far. Just to review, we talked about going from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. And now this shift away from, why does this always happen to me, to what is this trying to teach me? Let's get into number 3. Okay. This is such a powerful one. And I wish that I had known this sooner. This would have made dating so much more fun. This is a very powerful mindset shift. And here it is. You want to shift from, I hope they like me, to, do I even like them? There are so many of you who are going on these dates. You're putting all this effort into showing up and you're getting to the date. And you are so focused on people pleasing. You're so focused on, what is the other person thinking and feeling? Are they having a good time? That you're disconnected from yourself. You're not even able to tune into, well, how do I feel in the presence of this person, right? It is such valuable data to be on a date and be able to tune in and say, do I like being in the presence of this person? Do I enjoy the conversation? I want you to ask yourself questions like, do I feel heard? Do I feel valued? Do I feel understood? Do I feel like this person is curious about me? And if you're so focused on, oh, I hope they like me, I want them to like me. If you're so focused on that, you're not going to be able to tune inwards and get the data that you need, right? So this is crazy. The lie that we believe when we are dating this way, when we're focused on, oh, I want them to like me, the lie that we're believing is, I need to prove my worth. I need to show people that I'm good enough. I need to prove it, right? And we got to shift away from that of, well, of course I'm already enough. I'm so worthy. I am ready. I'm available. Here's the reasons why I am a catch. There's so many people out there. We're in abundance mindset. There's so many people out there who would be excited to date me, right? And we have to get to this place where we say, I am not going to focus on pleasing this person or being a version of myself that I think this person will like, contorting my identity and changing who I am just so that, wow, I can get this person to like me. We have to shift away from that and get to this place where we say, I'm going to show up authentically as myself. And I'm going to trust that when I am authentically myself, I attract the person who's really meant for me. You have to remember that authenticity is your superpower because it's going to help you not waste time on the wrong people, right? And part of authenticity is being able to be tuned into yourself, knowing what your needs are, your emotions are, expressing yourself on the date. And if you're so focused on, oh, how do I people please? How do I make this person like me? You're not going to be able to tune into yourself and show up authentically. So this is such an important shift. And I want you to think about this of you are the love scientist, okay? So I talk about this a lot. So instead of some of you right now, when you're going on a date, you feel like you're auditioning. You feel like you're showing up, you're auditioning for the part. You got to put on an act. You got to be this version of yourself that you're not. I want you to think about becoming the love scientist. You are gathering the data. You are coming into the date, and instead of saying, okay, got to get them to like me, you're saying, how do I feel in the presence of this person? Am I enjoying this date? Do I feel seen? Do I feel heard? Right? You're turning into, okay, I'm going to evaluate what's coming up for me. I'm going to tune inwards instead of I have to perform, I have to audition. All right. And then obviously, I think one of the most important things we can do to put this into action is to actually go do it. So for those of you listening, I want you to actually go do this. When you are on your next date, I want you to be mindfully bringing yourself back to the present moment. This is another thing too. If you're so stuck in putting on a show, or you're in fear mindset and you're in prediction or control, or you have your defenses up, it takes you out of the present moment. And then if you're not in the present moment, you can't actually tune into yourself and know how you're feeling. So first off, you got to say, okay, I'm coming back to this present moment. All I am doing here is gathering the data. I'm taking the pressure away. I'm not putting any pressure on the state. I'm just gathering the data, and I'm going to ask myself, how do I feel in the presence of this person? So I want you to work on that on your next date. Go put that into practice where you're bringing yourself back to the present moment and asking yourself how you feel. Okay, we're doing great. Number 4, this is the 4th shift, dating mindset shift that I want you to make. This is so good. So we have to get away from fear-based dating into securely attached dating. Fear-based dating, that's where your insecure attachment styles are showing up. We've got anxious, avoidant, disorganized attachment. It's all about self-protection, preventing rejection, and also not being abandoned. And when you think about that, what does it do? It causes us to show up in really unhealthy ways, in ways that prevent us from having the relationship that we want. Some of you have heard me talk about this metaphor where with secure attachment, I want you to have an open palm, right? We're not pressuring anything. We have an open palm. Imagine that we're trying to get a little bird to come and land in our palm. The bird is the relationship. We're trying to get it come and land in our palm. If you have anxious attachment, you're going to squeeze the bird as soon as it lands. Have you ever seen Tommy Boy? The part in the movie where he's talking about sales. They're like at a diner and he talks about squeezing. Okay. Like that is what we don't want to do in our relationships. That is anxious attachment. That is fear-based dating. If I have avoidant attachment, when the bird lands, I'm like, oh, maybe it's not the right color bird. It's not the right type of bird. There's something wrong with the bird. I'm not interested. I'm super busy. So I'm just going to tell it to fly away. If I have a securely attached approach to dating, I have my open palm. I'm not squeezing. I'm not telling it to go away. I'm simply slowing down. I'm gathering the data, right? I'm getting to know the bird. Maybe the bird comes and then it flies away, right? This would be an example of the slow burn. I'm not spending the 72-hour long date like some of you like to go on, okay? The slow burn where the bird, it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. And I'm letting it evolve over time without the need to grip so tightly or the need to push it away. And I think a lot of you have only experienced, this was me in the past, have only experienced fear-based dating and fear-based relationships. So how do we get to the securely attached way of dating? We have to realize that our past relationships do not determine our current or future relationships. We get to this place where we're no longer using our past relationship experiences as a model for our current or future relationships. And most of you, I'll be honest, most of you need help. You can't just get to this place where you say, okay, I'm over my past relationships. No, you need to do something like our Empowered, Secure, Loved Relationship program, where we help you intentionally release your past so that it's not showing up anymore. You need to do some kind of work. It's nearly impossible, and it's going to take so long if you're trying to do this on your own, right? So we have to let go of our past relationships. And then we also have to start trusting ourselves. There's so many of you, I get kind of emotional thinking about this because this was me in the past, where you've had really tough dating experiences and you've blamed yourselves. You've really blamed yourselves. You've thought, oh, it was something I did. It was something that I should have seen earlier. I should have known that this wasn't going to work out. You've blamed yourselves. You've guilted yourself. And unfortunately, what that does is that cuts off your connection to your inner knowing and to your self-trust. So if you're having these hard relationship experiences, toxic relationship experiences, relationships that don't work out, and then you're blaming yourself and you're doubting yourself, what happens is your self-trust starts to be completely broken, where you don't trust your intuition. And it makes your dating life and showing up securely attached incredibly challenging. So we have to heal your self-trust. But here's the thing about that. It's only possible to heal if you are very honest with yourself and you very intentionally can approach your past experiences and see them through the lens of reality. The lens of reality, here's the truth about it. It was never all the other person, but it was also never all your fault either. A relationship always takes two people. There was a role that you played, there was a role that the other person played, right? And we have to be able to approach the past and make sense of it, figure out what the patterns are from this healthy lens of reality, okay? So once we do that, and we have to be brutally honest and face the truth of, okay, what was my role in my past, right? And then once we can intentionally practice so much self-forgiveness, a big part of finally being able to trust yourself again, where you have a healthy intuition and you're tuned in and you can make really confident decisions in dating, a big part of it is self-forgiveness. Being able to forgive yourself for when you didn't listen to your intuition, for when you prioritized the needs of someone else over your own needs, even though you knew that you were slowly emotionally dying in the relationship. You still prioritize the other person, right? Being able to forgive yourself for all of it. And finally, when you let that go, you have the awareness, you have the forgiveness, then you can work into rebuilding your self-trust. And self-trust is huge to be able to show up securely attached. And I think it's definitely one of those things that builds over time, and it starts small, right? So you're starting to listen to yourself. Remember, I talked about tuning inwards. That's a big part of self-trust, learning to tune inwards. So this is really important for showing up with securely attached dating. Here's your action step, your homework for this shift. I want you to create a dating mantra that is your securely attached dating mantra. Okay, here's an example. I am so worthy of love that feels emotionally safe and is securely attached. I am so worthy of love that feels emotionally safe and is securely attached. You can add on to that. You can go on a whole little rant about what it is that you're so ready for and so worthy of. But I want you to come up with your own mantra, and I want you to be practicing that, right? Helping your brain rewire, helping your brain go, oh, intimacy can be safe. Because if you're showing up with a fear-based dating mindset, what you've learned from past experiences is that getting close to people is not safe. So we have to get to the place where you can calm your nervous system, you can trust yourself again, you can show up securely attached, right? And you can know that intimacy is safe. All right, final dating mindset shift. Are you ready for this? We're going to talk about it. All right, this is a really, really, really important one. This goes out to all of you who've ever said this. I think there's so many of you listening. I know I said this in the past. We have to shift from dating sucks, okay? Like dating is the worst. Dating sucks. It's such a chore. It's awful. We have to shift from that to dating is something that I enjoy. I enjoy dating. I know it brings me closer to the person who's meant for me. I enjoy the process. I know that I'm getting better at it with time. We have to change how we relate to dating, okay? So the lie that you're believing is that dating's just too hard. It's too draining, right? It takes too much time. It's just something else that I have to do and I don't have time for it. I've heard so many of you say this. Can I tell you a secret? Dating feels that way because of the inner work that needs to be done, okay? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And so many of you are doing that in your dating lives where you're showing up, but you haven't done the inner work to release your past trauma and become securely attached. You haven't done that part yet. And then you're banging your head against a wall saying, why is dating so hard? It's hard because you haven't done the work yet, okay? So you got to get to this place where you say, dating is something that I can get better at. I enjoy dating. I enjoy the process. It gets me closer to the person that I know is meant for me. So changing how you see dating. And I think what's fun about this is realizing that you get to decide what your dating life looks like. So many of you have this idea of what it should be like, and you've made it be a certain way, and maybe you've let it be dictated by other people. The people that you're dating have dictated what your dating life looks like, right? But I want you to think about, what would your most fun, exciting, relaxed, playful, enjoyable dating life, what would that look like? I want you to really, truly think about it, and you get to design it. You get to decide that your dating life is different, right? You get to say no to the things that are not an energetic match for you. If you are not having fun in your dating life, I can already tell you, you're saying yes to the wrong people. You're saying yes to the wrong activities, right? As an example, let's say you're someone who you love to go on hikes, you love to go get your little matcha latte, go to your yoga class, right? And you don't really like going out. You don't want to stay up past 9:30. Tell me why you're saying yes to an 8 p.m. dinner date. Tell me why. I want you to really, truly think about, okay, yes, I want to be open. I want to let people come into my life, but I also get to decide, what do I want my dating experience to be like? You guys know this. I am such a fan for date number 1. I want you doing something that is less than an hour long. We haven't gathered enough data on someone to know if they're worthy of us investing so much time, right? Because I'm not going to go spend 2 to 3 hours with someone where I don't even know if I like being in the presence of this person. So the first date, it needs to be less than an hour, and it should be something that you enjoy. It should be a walk in the park, a wonderful coffee at a local coffee shop. Maybe it's, hey, we're going to go do this painting class together or a yoga class, and then we're going to go for a little chat. Like, I want you to really realize you are driving the bus here. You get to decide what your dating life looks like. Make it fun. Make it something that you enjoy. So this is your action step for this mindset shift of making dating fun. I want you to think about, what would your ideal date be? Okay, what would your ideal date be? And then I want you to put it into action. I want you to suggest it the next time you're going on a date. And yes, ladies, you can also suggest a date. It doesn't have to be the man that is planning everything, right? But I just want you to think about, how can I suggest something that I would really, truly enjoy? Okay. You get to have fun. If your dating life isn't fun, you're doing it wrong. I say that with love. If it's not fun, you're doing it wrong. Of course, there's going to be times where you go on dates with people and it's not the right fit, right? That's part of the other mindset shift. Bonus one, number 6, is that rejection, things not going right. All it is redirection to what is meant for you. It's going to happen where you go out with people and you're not compatible. You don't really enjoy talking with the person. That's part of dating, and that's normal. And we have to reframe it as, okay, I'm just learning. I'm learning about what I like and what I don't like. There is no failure. There's simply learning in the dating process. Okay. So that's going to happen. Rejection is redirection. And realize this, that you just have to keep showing up. And I hope that you really enjoyed these mindset shifts. I'm going to go over them one more time. We're going to go through them all. And once again, make sure you do the homework. I'm giving you these actionable steps. It's going to be so helpful if you actually put them into place. So number 1, we're going away from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. The person that you want is out there. They are looking for you. Okay. Number 2, instead of why does this keep happening to me, we're going to shift into, what are these patterns trying to teach me? How can I have awareness, take accountability, and do the deep inner work that is needed to be done to shift my patterns? And then number 3, we're going to shift from, I hope they like me, I really want them to like me, to, do I even like them? Such an important mindset shift. You're becoming the love scientist instead of auditioning for the role. Number 4, we are shifting away from fear-based dating and moving into securely attached dating. So no longer using our insecure attachment strategies that are rooted in fear. We're shifting into secure dating. Okay. And then number 5, we're shifting away from dating sucks to, I enjoy dating. I get better at it all of the time. And I know that it's bringing me closer to the person who's meant for me. So I hope you loved those mindset shifts. These are so important. Obviously, if this resonated with you and if you're really, really ready to make these shifts so that you can enjoy your dating life and attract the person that is meant for you, and you're like, hey, I want to do this now, I don't want to wait, then I've got you covered. Make sure you go apply to the Empowered, Secure, Loved program. The link is in the show notes. It's a quick application. And what you'll do is fill that out, speak with my team, and we'll make sure that we answer your questions and see if you're a good fit for the program. But I just want to encourage you, like, if you have put this off, this is the time. This is actually, I know I've mentioned this now, but this is the last time that I'll be offering the program in its current format. So if you're someone where you know you need extra support and you know that it's going to be really, really helpful to you to have the one-on-one support, then this is the time to enroll in the program. Okay, go use the link in the show notes to apply. It takes 5 minutes. All right, y'all. I hope this episode was helpful to you. Of course, as always, I'm sending you so much love and I'm wishing you high self-worth and great relationships. Until next time.